I'm Michael Bedsworth in the city of Lynchburg, and we've got the Carriage House Inn Bed and Breakfast. We've got a total of 7 guest rooms. We've got 4 up here in the mansion and a couple in the carriage house. The fellow who built this house was Richard Thomas Watts. We've had his great-grandson come and stay with us, who actually grew up in Thomas Jefferson's poplar forest. That was their private residence before it was sold to the foundation. So we get a great variety of people, all ages, from literally all around the world. We've had China, Australia, New Zealand, numerous people from Europe. So it's been very rewarding. Well, one day I was sitting in the office, not doing work. I was looking at old houses because I always wanted to restore an old house, and this one popped up, and we brought the printout home, and Kathy looked at it and said, "Yeah, that looks interesting." We literally drove down here that weekend and bought the house, and we worked on it for the next 4.5 years, and almost 5 years after we bought the property, we opened it up as a bed and breakfast. It was completed in 1878. Richard Thomas Watts, his wife Emma, moved in here. They had 11 children. 5 of them made it to adulthood. And he died in 1910. A year later, she died. She died without a will, and her daughter Mary was the only surviving daughter, ended up with the house, and she later married and raised her family here. In the 30s, it was sold out of the family. A single lady by the name of Lena Ford owned the property. She ran it as for lack of a better word, a bed and breakfast during World War II. Lynchburg was a major transportation hub. And there were 3 railroad lines that came in and out of Lynchburg. So a lot of the soldiers and sailors going to the war passed through Lynchburg. And during the war, she housed over 1,000 soldiers and sailors. She got ill in the 1950s. Her sister had the property sold at public auction in 1961. So from 1878 to 1961, it was the Watts family and Lena Ford. The fellow who bought it in 1961 converted this to apartments. And then there were a series of 8 or 9 owners until we bought it in 2003. Well, Lynchburg was like all cities across the United States. There was a lot of urban decay in the 60s, 70s, 80s. And we've noticed a lot more people moving into the downtown area, trying to restore it, bring it back up to its former glory. A lot of the old warehouses downtown are now loft apartments. So it's turning into become a really great place to live and a great place to visit. We're walking distance to downtown, plenty of restaurants and things to do downtown. You don't have to plan your day around traffic patterns, which you had to do in the DC area. People are friendly. And probably the one thing I never thought about, but as you get older, sometimes you forget things. The nice thing about living in a small town is if you don't remember what you did yesterday, all your neighbors could tell you. Well, the bed and breakfast business has been very rewarding. We've enjoyed it. Met lots of interesting people from, like I said, all around the world. But there's a lot of things, I guess as you get older, you want to start crossing things off your bucket list. And there's a lot of places in the world we'd like to go see while we're still physically and mentally able to do it. And I'm also a student at Liberty in the cinematic arts program, and my goal is to write and have produced several screenplays. So I'm working on that also. So that'll be the next phase of our career, probably the final chapter. I think great things are happening in the city. The old properties are being purchased and restored. The old abandoned warehouses and factories downtown are now turning into loft apartments. We've got 4 colleges and universities here in the city, 2 nuclear facilities, Bosch and Lum, so it's turning into an employment hub. We've got a regional hospital center. I think the economy, although it doesn't see the ups and downs of a big major metropolitan area like DC or Virginia Beach, I think the economy is very strong and the city will continue to grow and prosper.